this new link once it's live in like 5 seconds. Okay, there we go. I can see us right there.
Right, it's happening.
How is it going? How is it going, guys? Let's wait for a few more people to join. I will just share this with my team.
Do a retweet, want to probably tweet it. I'll just put it out so that everybody knows the link.
I think, yeah, my team will tweet it. If you can retweet it, that would be awesome.
Yep, for sure.
Wait for some more people to come on. It's a pretty cool background.
It is, right?
It's actually moving as well. It's like, is that
Yep.
moving or
Yeah,
is that just a fear that I've had?
it is moving, man. So living the immeasurable.
You're literally in an imaginary world. You must dream of that like all the time, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I spent like 16 to 18 hours a day doing immeasurable. So, so I think when I sleep and think about it, it's crazy, dude. It's
Have
crazy.
have have you dreamt of being in an imaginary one's world?
I think I drew a lot of colors and characters, I guess. Like, I probably play too much Bubba Rangers too, so.
Yes, yeah, yeah, man. We'll touch upon that in a moment. Okay, cool. I got the link. Share it with you quickly.
Yep.
There we go.
Right. Give me a second. I'll just do a quick tweet. Right. Reposted. All right, let's do this, bro.
And we're live. And we are live. We are live from where are we live from? We're live from Dubai and Singapore.
Yeah. What time is it there for you right now? It's like 4 p.m.?
6 o'clock. Six
Ah,
o'clock.
nice. I'm like 10 p.m. here, so
10 p.m.
yeah.
10. Goodness me. You should be going out on a Friday night, shouldn't you? Letting your hair down.
No, man. I mean, I saw them go out, man. Actually, to be honest, I need a
Don't
pretty
go out.
boring. Like, what about you, man? Are you gonna have like plans after this?
So I think next tomorrow I'm going to go to White Beach in Dubai, which is a beach club with some
Nice.
of the YouTube KOLs and Miles Dushir from Crypto Banter and a few of the other guys. So that's going to be awesome. But yeah, oh look, I can see some more people join in. The first question when TGE.
In
I
Dubai,
could,
which is a
could
big
have
club.
predicted that, I guess.
Yep. So it's gonna come no matter what.
Goodness me. Teddy's here. I think you must know who Teddy is.
Yep.
Hello,
Hey.
Teddy. How's it going, guys? Welcome. Welcome to the channel. All right, so let's kick this off. So,
Yep.
Clement, thank you so much for joining me, my friend. It's great to see you. And it was great hosting you in Dubai was it a few months ago now? And
Yeah, it's like once here.
2 months ago, we had a wonderful meal next to the Burj Khalifa, and you were telling me how much you're thinking about moving to Dubai. Is
Yeah,
that
man,
still
I'm
the
jealous.
case?
I'm so jealous about all your apartment, man. You look at like, the whole the Burj Khalifa. Yeah.
We spoke about we need to get the bubbles on the Burj. When?
When is the question? Someday. It's gonna happen soon.
When is the question for everything, I guess, at
Yep.
this point. But look, obviously you've been building up this crazy launch now for Imaginary Ones for quite some time. How do you feel everything is going?
Oh, actually, it's been a year, man. It's crazy. So, I mean, since this whole entire bubble thing, I mean, I started at the Imaginary Ones NFT like 2.5 years ago, and this whole entire bubble journey for close to a year. So, right now we're getting really, really close, and I'm really excited, man, to be honest. It's all the hard work and like seeing it all come together and everything. I gotta say it's a little bit bittersweet and like yeah, so many sleepless nights, but I think it's gonna be really, really worth it seeing the results that we have right now, and like investors coming in and like the exchanges, etc. That's gonna happen soon. So yeah, everything's falling in place, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it must be amazing because like obviously you had that first NFT launch, that was wildly successful, right? You sold out in like under 4 minutes. And now
Yep.
you have like a token launch. So do you feel like this is like a new chapter, a new leaf or do you think it's just a continuation of your journey?
Um, so it is a new chapter. So like when we launched the NFTs like two and a half years ago, that moment was pretty amazing, better say, because we saw it really quickly and like the demand was high.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that was just the start of like Imagine once we know it's gonna become it's really becoming really, really big. And but we never expect like, 2 years, 2.5 years later, we can be even bigger than that, right? And the hype is getting stronger every single day. So it is a new chapter, but not the I'll say like not the final chapter. If that makes sense.
Definitely not the final chapter. No, it's definitely a new chapter. So let me actually roll off some of your achievements here with the Imaginary One. So you've collaborated with $2 billion companies, soon to be three with the EAK. Hugo Boss, Samsung. You launched two games, right? Bubble Rider, Bubble Rangers. Which one's your favorite?
Oh man, actually, I think I'm a more of a noob player, so Bubble Rangers is much easier. Bubble Rider was a little bit tougher, but it was more competitive. So, yeah, I love Bubble Rangers more, I guess.
And who is the best player out of the four co-founders of
Uh,
Rangers?
I think even for Bubble Rangers and Bubble Rider, Greg, 9 foot table is the best. He plays a lot, and I mean, I think he does a lot of testing and everything. So, yeah, naturally, he's like really good at it.
Okay, so you reached 2 million downloads for Bubble Rangers like yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Um, so that is amazing news, like unbelievable, really. 2 million downloads. Launched two IRL stores with Hugo Boss,
Yep.
which I think that was in Singapore, and I was thinking you
Yep.
should you guys should do it again during Token 2049 Singapore because like that's a perfect time to take it over, no?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to Hugo about that. Yeah, taking over a store sometimes takes a lot of effort and a lot of planning. But yeah, definitely we should probably start talking soon after TG, man.
So you've sold out merchandise with Hugo, right? I saw some denim merchandise.
Yes, so we sold the denim merchandise with Roblox. Imagine Hugo and Imagine was collaboration.
Mm.
And I think we sold out within less than 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, pretty massive.
Wild, wild. And you
Wow.
actually you have some merchandise, right? Like, do you have some merchandise coming?
Yeah, so for merchandise wise, I think we're going to focus a lot on the plushie side of things. So I mean, for fashion and everything, we'll definitely do with Hugo. But if it comes to the merchandise side, which is the plushies, we launch at 16 stores in Singapore for these plushies. And yeah, the crazy thing is like we launched less than a month, I think, and we sold out 75% of it. So right now we're probably looking to cross borders to multiple countries soon. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I want to get some bubble swag ASAP. We got you launched the kids content, right? Imaginary Junior, and you've just closed a round with some great VCs, and now you've got that upcoming bubble token. So, what is the next chapter for you guys? What comes next after all of that?
Yeah, yeah, because there's so many things that's going on. So I think what's gonna happen next is like, we're gonna focus to make sure the launch is as big as possible. And what's gonna happen? I talk a lot about this in some of my spaces is we're gonna focus a lot in terms of trying to connect this whole entire web to a web3 world, right? And the main product, besides the games that we're gonna build, with with of course like Immutable and stuff, um we're gonna focus a lot on the Bubble Connect to start getting all like the merchandise, the game side, the content side, everything to be connected in this central place where you are able to sort of like see how many bubbles you have, how much interactions you have done, how much merchandise you have bought, for example, and comes to a full-on point system. And then potentially we can start onboarding various brands like be Web2 or Web3, and this whole entire ecosystem will start to grow. With that itself, then we slowly build towards like becoming the next biggest Web3 entertainment company in space. Yep.
Who who
So
is who is the big? Who is the
Sorry,
biggest Web3 entertainment company right now? It's you guys, right?
I would think so. I would think so. I don't think like there's many people that actually venture to do as many things as us.
Mhm.
Like the game side or like the merchandise side of things. But even like onboarding brands itself, I don't
Yeah.
think yeah, nobody has done as crazy as us, I guess, because like yeah, like I'll often say, like, onboarding brands is a very, very tough thing to do, and is a very long process to be committed to here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then you've mentioned that you're focusing on three main areas going forwards, I believe: gaming, merchandise, and film.
Yep.
So film was one that stuck out to me. Obviously, gaming, you're doing very well with Bubble Rangers, Bubble Riders, merchandise we've just discussed. But film, I don't think I've seen a Bubble film. Maybe I missed it, or I never to go to the movies again.
I feel like it's gonna be a mix of like it's gonna be the main sort of like pillar will definitely be content. So it's a mixture of film and of course Mandarin junior stuff that we do. So kids content and the film side we're actually exploring because like we onboarded two big advisors. One is the ex-VP of Netflix and the
Yeah.
other guy the MD of HBO Max and also ex-Disney. So we're gonna start sprouting out into the whole entire short film route first, or even building a long form in the future. But recently we released this trailer for Imaginary Ones where you see the whole entire imaginary world. So that itself is like a taste of like how what kind of quality we are trying to attain with the film. Yep. So that was like a 30-second trailer, but I think that was pretty hype just 1 month ago. Yep.
Okay. Look, I can see more people joining here in the chat. If you have any questions or let us know where you're actually watching us from. I can see a few people here. I'm seeing some Turkish language. I'm seeing some people here from Korea as well. So we've got a pretty global audience here at the moment, Clement. But where is your main audience from in general in the imaginary ones? Singapore or?
Weirdly, Singapore is the smallest. We're from
They
we are
they had enough of you guys, I guess.
yeah. We do have some Singapore fans, but I think like it feels like our main fans come from the States and Europe side actually because I remember like holding an event. I was giving a talk in Paris Blockchain Week last year, and then we had this event in Paris, and it was like wow, there's a lot of people that came. Actually more than Singapore. We had one in Singapore too, and then after that we flew to Germany and had another one, and there was like quite a bit of a turnout. So and if you look at the statistics of our Wales and everything, it seems like it's more towards the west side of the world than the Asia or Singapore side, at least. And it's weird, right? Because I come from Singapore, but the audience is so different.
Yeah, I'm seeing Nigeria here, Philippines. There's a flag there that I don't recognize, unfortunately. But yeah, like we got a very global audience in here tonight. So yeah, it's great. It's great to see. So these advisors, right, from Netflix and Disney, because a lot of projects they have advisors, but like they're just there for the logo. Like are these advisors actually, supporting you like deeply, like to help you hit your goals?
Yep. So everybody has their own sort of like roles to play, and they have a part to help us scale in different side of things. For the film side of things, like I mean, for me, I like before Imaginary once I already had a motion design agency which I co-founded with David. So it's still running
Yeah.
today. And we are very inclined in terms of like doing content like for big commercials like Apple, Nike, Samsung, Spotify, Facebook, F1, etc. Those big commercials. So when it comes to animation and everything, we actually know the know-hows. But right now it's more of like how can we scale to the right publishers? What kind of route do we go when it comes to the story writing and everything? So with their connections, for example, we are able to be, we have access to good writers, maybe from Pixar or Netflix or wherever, right? And that itself, because like if it's very different to do a 30-second piece versus like maybe a 30-minute piece, for example, because script writing and planning the whole entire piece is going to take a long time. So we need the right directions. And of course, like I've got advisors like Dingaling. So he's a great we go on calls or weekly sometimes just to talk about what's happening with the whole entire space and everything. Giving a lot of advice about NFTs also. So I'll say like it's a good mix of Web2 and Web3 people that gives like the various advice to make sure that we are on track. Because sometimes we are very like very focused on what we are trying to achieve, right? And sometimes there's a lot of things that's happening in the space or even in the whole entire world. Sometimes you can never have enough knowledge to be able to do everything. So you probably need all these like advisors that know what they're doing and they are able to sort of like guide you along the way in their paths of success in their own ways here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's some people that are watching that seem to think this is a recorded video, so I'm gonna shout
Oh,
out
this is
Asha Pasumbel. I'm shouting you out, brother. This is not a recorded video. This is a live stream. Thank you very much, guys. But look, I think you're missing something here, and I just thought about it earlier. Like when bubble bath. Like you haven't come up with bubble bath. Like, come on, this is obvious to me.
that is actually something that we should do. Actually, we did everything, but we didn't do bubble bath. Damn it, that's something that we.
That was like my whole childhood right there. Come on, it's a home
Yeah,
run, surely.
my kids love it, man. So yeah, probably someday, I guess.
Cool, man. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. So I know that I'm an events guy, as you know, and we
Yeah.
have some great events coming up in Istanbul Blockchain Week in August, which I'm very excited about and working very hard on. And I think you and your team
Yeah.
are going to be there. But tell me
Yes.
more. I think you want to get more and more in the IRL activation space for Imaginary One. So what does that kind of look like for you? What can IO holders and bubble holders expect from those kind of IRL activations?
Yeah. So something that I feel that is lacking in Imagine was is a constant amount of having like events all around the world, and this is something that we probably will be focusing on this year, and I think we're working very close with you around on this, and like the Istanbul one I think will be cool. I've never been there before, but like what we actually we had this idea. I remember I think you probably remember like we wanted to have this very very big ball pit and like
Yeah.
because they're made of sphere. Imagine what's made of sphere. So if you have like one of the biggest ball pit in the world, for example, or in the space, it's a thing that I feel people can almost easily resonate and probably even putting some gifts or maybe some Samsung food, whatever. It's like these ball pits where people can just get it. I think can be a whole entire fun experience with some of the sculptures of Imaginary Wars of Bubba Rangers. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the real life event, man. And I want to do it more often this year, man. Even next year or whenever, right? So, this is something that is gonna be our main focus in. I'll say like after TG. I was supposed to be in Hong Kong, and also supposed to be in Dubai, just a couple of months ago. But the whole entire TG stuff has taken quite a bit of my time. But yeah, once after tokens launch, I think I'll start flying around for spaces and everything. Yeah, for in real life spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Well, yeah, I mean, Turkey could be a great place to do deactivation for sure. It's an amazing country. August going to be sun shining for sure. No worries about rain, like we were talking about before. And yeah, Singapore, obviously, Korea Blockchain Week's coming up. They love the IP over there. So yeah, lots to talk about. But look, we have a question here from the audience. Mr. Bistack Trader, he's saying, is there a metaverse game soon in coming to Imaginary Ones?
So we are already starting to build the you know what? Like metaverse word itself feels very like a taboo word, right? People when they hear metaverse, like, oh, it's just another one. I would like to look at it as a little bit different. I will look at it as a more full-on game. Similar to how we see it. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this game called Play Together, or okay, maybe Four Guys, or and Dreamstar. So these are the games that itself like it feels like a game and there's a purpose when you're playing the game or similar games like Fortnite, right? There's so many different kind of things to do in the space. So we do have plans to build something much bigger, but the thing is I want to focus on building the brand. So what we'll do is we'll launch more casual games, but in the parallel we'll start building the metaverse. So or at least the big game. And that being said itself, like because that the casual games that we're gonna launch is for brand building to get people to know what Imaginary Ones is. More than beyond Web3, has to be in the Web2 world, and he has to find his own success. And then when the bigger game is launched, everything is gonna be fun up there. So that itself will have its purpose there, right? And people will have a community there beyond, like I said, bigger than just the Web3 community. It has to be like a big, much bigger Web2 and Web3 community. And when that happens itself, it will be more of a successful product versus if you think about it as an inverted model, where if I launch Metaverse first and there's not much traction there. It's gonna die eventually, or just like there's nobody and people just going for once and then they just move on, right? But without the emotional connection to a character or space itself is something that has no point when you launch it, especially you spend a lot of money building it. So uh our strategy will be to build more casual games similar to Bubba Rangers or Bubba Rider, and slowly building towards that open world concept. Yeah.
Obviously, you had a design or an animation studio, right? Like a
Yeah.
motion graphic studio. So how do you go from that to like building a game? Because like aren't they like like quite difficult different things? Like, is it your team that you could build in these games? Like, to get 2 million downloads is a pretty big achievement for somebody that, as far as I know, doesn't have a gaming background, right?
Yeah. So it is a little bit different. I mean, like for our animation studio, we have the concept of or design where it comes to using 3D software, it's like texturing, diffuse, like lighting, etc. Those are the basic stuff that you can actually bring to the design of a game from Unity. Of course, it's a different software from Cinema 42 Unity. But when we launched Imaginary ones back then, we started investing a lot in the game team. So everything was built in-house. The game team because like everywhere is our team is sprouted everywhere. Some is like in Brazil, some in the UK. Our main designers are in Singapore and everything. So um we tried with the first game for Bubba Rider in April 1st. Like that was the MVP product. We and when you run a business, you don't want to just like throw everything in and hope that it sticks on the wall. You build MVP products and then make sure that it can scale and then start building the other things. So when we built Bubba Rider, we was collaborating with all these like various Web3 brands, and it became successful like crazy. We became viral. We like collaborated with like Clonex, Doodles, Memeland, all these big brands. I think and we ran the game for only like three weeks. And we garnered like 6 million plays. And that's when we realized like, wow, this is actually something much bigger. So we expanded the game team much more and then dive deeper into the mobile world because that is where the best adoption is. So and we started building Bubble Rangers and launched that in November. So I feel like it's more like a process more than just like, okay, well, this is an overnight success. And to hit 2 million dollars or so, like we had one of our advisor, his name is Francis, and he's the ex gaming director of Final Fantasy and ex Meta user acquisition. So he sort of that helps us to scale the game in a very smart way and to think about how we can like because for games itself sometimes to grow the game you have to spend some money on ads and everything. So that itself, but we have to optimize stuff to make sure that numbers can grow and we can profit from that, right? Instead of just throwing money. So yeah, it's a mixture of everything. It's everybody's effort, and yeah, that's how we actually got the $2 million. Long
Yeah,
story
to me
short.
that's crazy. I mean, yeah, I mean, actually, Turkey has a really good casual mobile gaming scene. That's like quite well known for that. Like everyone's got a mobile. Everyone's even like mums, dads. Everyone's just playing it all the time. So that'll be interesting setup. But I'm assuming like Southeast Asia, Africa, is a lot where the mobile casual games are taking off. Is that what you're seeing with the statistics?
Yeah, we have a lot users from Nigeria. So I saw that in the comments. Philippines, Turkey too, and it's a mixture, right? I would say like game side Asia is actually much stronger, right? And of like Philippines, Nigeria, India, and Malaysia, and like we have some parts of the world like the States and Europe and everybody like Korean, they're all playing. But yeah, right now our statistics are all it's all around the world. Don't really have a one spot that is just really like everybody's there.
Got it, got it, got it. So what is your like zooming out a little bit? Obviously, you guys were you know, launched in the NFT bull market. And now, you know, obviously we're still in a pretty bad NFT bear market, although it's showing some little signs, like little signs that it might be like, getting off the canvas. But what is your opinion like in the next NFT bull run? Like, how do you see the next generation of NFTs being different from 2021 bull run? And do you
Yeah.
see the same PFPs that were successful last time pop into the top to all-time highs again, or do you think it's the new shiny ones that are going to take all the attention?
Wow, that is a tough question, but okay. I'll take that.
Well, you're the expert, I'm just a
So
guy in my room asking questions. Huh?
so I think like yeah, everybody would thought that once the whole entire market turned around, which is what we saw from ETH being $800 to now $3,000, NFTs will start coming back. But if you look at the previous cycle, actually NFTs was the last in the whole entire bull cycle. So actually everything was like the meme coins, everything was flying, and then everybody got surplus cash and they started buying NFTs. But I would say that it's gonna happen 100% like this because we had a catalyst back then, like 2 3 years ago, where there was a this artist called Beeple that sold his art for $69 million, and it was on the news. Everybody was talking about it, and that was the euphoria moment where NFT became a big thing. Everybody wanted to buy it, right? But I think once the bear market hit, you start to see a lot of projects fail, started dying or people started leaving, right? And I think potentially, will they ever come back? I think it all boils down to what value can the project give, right? It's not if it's just a PFP. Like if you look at CryptoPunks, for example, there's provenance, and like everybody knows them for CryptoPunk being one of the OGs in the space. So there's only one or two CryptoPunks in the space, right? There's not that like at that level of branding, but the rest of it itself has to build a strong emotional connection to the brand. Like number one, is it gonna be IP play? Is it gonna be game? Is it gonna be like anime or whatsoever, right? So it's gonna take a while for all this. I think the challenge is like once you launch an NFT, you are in a speed run to make sure that things work and to make sure that things succeed because everybody's very used to like, oh, everything is sold out really quickly. Everything is growing exponentially. So that is something that is it gets really stressful for founders and they were just launching things again and again, right? So there was this trend where if you launch an NFT and then you start launching the second collection and the third collection, but we realized that that's not possible to like sustain because like the more you launch, the more diluted it gets. So
Yeah.
I think it will go to a point where projects will have to start to find revenue to sustain its own treasury, else it's not going to work. Plus, if there's no value that or brand that is being built at all, like if it's on a constant hype on a day-to-day basis, then I think it will generally die down because like hype can't last forever. It's gonna last for maybe a month, 3 months maybe, but you can't last hype for 2 years. That's crazy. So for brands itself, that I think it's really important to focus on things that we can deliver. And it's not going to be easy, but we have to constantly deliver great products where people can feel that connection to. And that's where I feel that's how the whole entire next work can happen because NFTs are a little bit different from crypto coins because crypto coins itself is very like meme coins you buy it, there's liquid you can sell it, right? But for NFTs you hold it because and there's a brand that's tied to a token. So it's a very different play, and emotions is something that is actually connected to the NFT. So, yeah. So I feel like who's the blue chips are definitely going to be there, right? They're like brands like Azuki, they are always going to be around and they're doing great stuff. So, would the other underdogs actually start to climb up? Yes, I would say yes because like once they have a good product and if they are very sustainable in revenue, yeah, possibly. And if they can find some fresh ways to change the space, I think it's highly possible.
So you mentioned that it's really important for NFT projects to find revenue streams to obviously build or at least sustain their treasury that they made before. So
Yeah.
from Imagine One's perspective right now, what is your revenue like? Obviously, don't tell me your revenue, but like, what is the different areas that bring you guys the money? Like, what different
Uh,
buckets do you have?
yeah, so we've got brand partnerships. Like even for the Hugo Boss stuff that we sell, of course, it's be a royalty. And of course they do pay us for partnerships fee. And like we have one revenue for partnerships. The other side of it is from the games. So and of course our YouTube content and our merchandise. So these are some ways to sort of like add up and to make sure that everything stays afloat.
Got it, bro. All good, all good. I can see lots of people saying Clement is the best founder in Web3. Do you agree? Do you agree with that?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, we do our best here. we do our best. The crazy part is like Web3 do not have a like an open book of what's the right thing to do. So you sometimes gotta figure it out yourself. And yeah, we do our best to do things right.
I love it, bro. I love it, bro. All right. So look, you've been successfully invested in by Cypher Capital and Animoca Brands, Polygon Ventures, some big names in the space. How is their support going to help propel the future of Bubbles, Imaginary Ones Festival, all the things you got planned?
Um, like I think they are very like Cypher, Animoca, Polygon. They're very very big VCs in the space. Actually one of the top, right? Uh, I think that let's say to put into perspective for Animoca, because like Animoca itself has a huge amount of portfolio that we on this basis itself, there's a lot of connections that we can make in that whole entire team there. And the tokenomics side, we do talk about like we do plan together in terms of with Animoca on weekly basis. And of course like getting more exposure and like the thing is once the big VCs come in, right? It makes things roll a lot much faster. And of course the exchanges they do look at who's backing a project, right? You can't just say, oh, we have random people backing the project. It's never gonna work. You need some big boys backing your project to give confidence to the central exchanges
Yeah.
so that eventually this you. So I think the value is in many ways and not just like okay, it's never just money, right? It's like if people can just give you $100,000, for example, but if there's no value that's being added, then there's no point in $100,000 because to be honest, it's not really that difficult to raise $100,000, but to find VCs or investors that can truly bring value, yeah, that's a harder find, but it's definitely more worth it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, there's some great names. I mean, Cypher, good friends with Cypher. Obviously, the big guys are here in Dubai, and
Yep.
Animoca needs no introduction. They seem to be absolutely everywhere these days. It's pretty wild. And then Polygon Venture is interesting because you're not currently built on Polygon, are you?
No. Yep. So
So so tell me, what does that mean? Are you going to be building something on Polygon now they've invested in you?
I I mean, in some ways, where we had this partnership with Immutable that's being built on ZK so somewhat connected. But I think in the long run, we do have plans to build our own chain, right? And that is something that we just for the bubbles itself, it's gonna be the utility token for the whole entire ecosystem. But I
Mm.
think in the future itself, we do have plans to go layer two or even layer three. So
Layer
Polygon will
four.
be Polygon will be one of the key factors of why they invested in us, I guess. Yeah.
So you just mentioned there about the concept of launching your own chain. So that was quite interesting because I wasn't sure how much that's been spoken about publicly. So if you're talking about launching your own chain, like, and you said bubble code tokens is a utility token, and there's an ecosystem built on top of that chain, then obviously that bubble token would be quite a valuable asset to own. So what would you see those dApps or those partners building on top of a bubble chain? Like what would be its USP? What would be its positioning? Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. So I always take reference a lot from Ability and Rolling Chain. So they had a
Mm.
strong game, and then after that, they slowly transited to Rolling, where there's their own wallets and stuff like that. So for us itself, we will start. I think number one, we'll start investing in after our token launch, we'll start investing in other projects that wants to be part of the bubble world or wants to build an IP, right? So this is something that we can guide them or incubate them so they be part of this whole bubble ecosystem. And then once we are ready, probably, once we have a collective amount of projects that's in this bubble ecosystem, and that's will slowly transit into the whole entire bubble chain. So the dApps itself, like, it could, I think in the basic stuff, it's gonna, you need a swap, you need like a wallet, but how can products be built with a very interesting angle when it comes to try to bridge this whole entire Web 3 or Web 2 world. So I think one thing about what Imaginary Ones does well, or at least the bubble world does well, is like we are able to bring these big brands into the Web 3 world. So I think that will be a very strong angle. Like it doesn't have to always be a mega brand, right? It doesn't have to be Samsung or Hugo, but any Web 2 brands that it could be mid tier, it could be, small businesses that wants to come into the Web 3 world and leveraging on this one entire bubble ecosystem, that could be a very interesting way to look at it. And yeah, we hope to be able to do that. And that's why the Bubble Connect is so important here because that is gonna make everything come together.
Yeah. So guys, I can see lots of people saying when TG, when TG, when TG, but you do realize, and I'll answer this for you, Clement. I'll be your bodyguard. If Clement says when the TG is, he will potentially destroy any good exchange that would get announced in the future. So he cannot say when TGE, and it's for the best of us, right? It's for us that he doesn't say right now when the TGE is, right? So let's just stop with the when TGE and let's ask some other interesting questions. Obviously, the TGE is going to be soon, guys. That's why
Hello.
I'm doing a round of interviews. Huh?
Yeah, you know how it works, right? We can't say anything as
Like
much as
like it's
yeah.
not because Clement doesn't want to tell you. It's like literally protecting your bags by not saying anything. Like he's protecting you. If he just says it right now, like potentially everything's going to get ruined. Everything gets pushed back. So like that's why we're not talking about when TGE now. If anyone has some good quality questions other than when TGE, when airdrop, and I know you guys do because I can see it. I know you got passionate supporters. Then drop it in the chat and I'll 100% ask it. So yes. Anyways, well, I just wanted to address that
Yep.
because you must get it all the time, man. You must dream of it, like when TG.
I think every day when I open X, I see what it's normal thing, but Erhan is definitely right. As much as we want to say, but yeah, we are under NDA and everything. We can just yeah say it out right now.
Crazy Teddy's asking if Clement can offer some imaginary passes to people watching giveaway.
Yeah, I mean you could. I mean, Erhan can choose a few of them, like five. How about
Five?
that? Yeah,
Okay, there you go. Let's go. I Crazy Teddy, your dreams just come true. Five imaginary passes to give away. All right, so here we go then.
yeah,
Best
but
question.
we gotta choose them, right? We gotta choose them
We
later. So you gotta give me the
we have
username.
we have 25 minutes right left of this interview. So let's say the best questions as chosen by maybe me or Clements, we'll decide later. We'll win an imaginary pass each. Yeah, should we go with that?
Yeah, sure.
Legend. See, look, Clement is so generous. Okay. Oh no.
When
is
and
this
when can
is the skin in Bubble Ranger an NFT that is tradable soon?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay. Among the WNTG, the ocean of WNTG. So like I think right now the games they see Bubble Rangers itself, the skin itself is not tradable yet. But that's the reason why we partner with Immutable because that is the plan for us to slowly transit our characters for Bubble Rangers into on-chain stuff and then potentially yeah, tradable in the future.
Potentially. I guess that means yes. Um, okay, good stuff. What Web3 narratives excite you most this year? Okay, so we're zooming out a little bit.
Okay.
Outside of your own project, what Web3 narratives are you looking at? I mean, surely you're an investor yourself. I mean, you must have your own bags outside of
Yeah.
IO. You
Mm,
you're much of a trader?
I I trade a little bit. I buy some NFTs here and there. Recently I've been buying Ordinals. That's something that I've been trying to learn a little bit because I came from ETH kind of world, and right now the whole entire BTC Ordinals is actually getting really really on fire when everybody's talking about it. So I had to buy some, right? But yeah, it's definitely a new experience, man, because it's very different from buying a Ethereum NFT because like things, when you buy it, it takes like 10 to 20 minutes for it to transact and then you finally get it. And there was something that was like, wow, that's something new, man. And on top of that, like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm a back holder, man. I hold like Ethereum, Cardano, ApeCoin.
Cardano, why?
Yeah, I've been holding for a long time, dude. I
Oh
don't
my
even know
God.
why I'm holding anymore, dude.
You should no one uses Cardano, bro. It's just no need for that. At
Yeah,
least put it into Solana, do yourself a favor.
I've been holding it for like close to like 2, 3 years. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna sell it. I do hold a lot of different coins like Phantom. Um, yeah, here and there. It's just all the weird coins. But Ethereum is of course my biggest bag for sure.
All right. We're getting some really good questions now, which is really cool. See, it's a little bit of incentivization, and suddenly you can't stop them. Any potential of including the Bitcoin chain in the IO ecosystem?
Um, right now, because most of our whole entire ecosystem is actually built on ETH, and I mean we do have plans for that, like to have cross chain to work with layer zero in the future. So but as of now, we will probably just focus on ETH first, and then start to scale to different chains. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. What about well, firstly, before we'll just pause there after 40 minutes of great chat with me and Clement, I would really appreciate, guys, if you could subscribe to the channel, like, hit the bell notification. You will not miss any of these interviews again. Clement is the first interviewee I've had here. He's a good friend of mine, and we're going to be having these interviews all the time going forwards in this next few days, months, years, hopefully. In the bulls, in the bear, I'm going to be here bringing on the best Web3 founders onto this channel. So please do hit the subscribe button and like and comment, and I'll love you guys for it. All right, let's keep going on that note. So, um, will the team be looking at launching Bubble Rider earlier to increase ways for farming for Bubble?
So Bubble Rider is actually more or less done. We will probably launch it after TG. The reason is because like we don't really want to flood the market with so many stuff, right? Because previously we had this social farming, and then we've got Bubble Rider, sorry, Bubble Ranger, and then we got this imaginary pass. Imagine just adding Bubble Rider itself, like there's just too many things happening in this whole entire ecosystem that confuses people. So we prefer to have Bubble Rider after TG because like that's gonna be sort of like a sequel. After our token launch, you have something to carry on farming and people can fun with it. So yep, after TG.
Amazing, amazing. Look, I'm seeing all these questions come flying in. I'm trying to keep up on it. So what are the three things that excite you most about IO?
Um I create like all the art in the very first Genesis Imaginary one. So that's something that the characters itself means a lot to me. The other one, the second one is probably the UI, the UI UX of Imaginary ones. I love the website. So the fun fact, the website was also designed by
So it's
me.
your own work. I love everything that I created.
No. After that it was after that it started like
The
my
rest of it
team.
was trash.
No, after after the second, after the very first design, then after that the team started having scale and everything. So yeah, I think that is something that, and of course like all the animation that we push out for marketing is definitely all these three stuff that I really like about Imaginary ones. And our staking and everything is we are always trying to do the best and smoothest process for everything. So that is yeah, the promise that I was trying to keep and try to make things proper, try to make things as premium as possible. Yeah.
All right, question for me, just to
Yeah.
throw it in there. So at what point do you, as a founder, sit back and say, we've achieved our goal? Like is there imaginary ones at the Super Bowl, imaginary ones with Michael Jordan, like whatever that looks like in your head, like what is that top moment that you just be like, we made it, guys, like we made it, like with the imaginary ones kind of thing, like as in like with the brand itself, where where
Uh,
where do you see it?
looks like it's gonna take for like I think I'll be doing it as long as I can to push Imagine was the greatest height, right? I
What
don't
is
I
that greatest high for you? Like, at what point do you go, yeah, that we're now a top tier, IP in global in the world, period.
Yeah, this may sound cliche or cheesy, but when I started Imagine was I hope to be the Web3 version of like Disney. I know a lot of people say that. I don't want to say it all the time, but like and to look at Disney being 100 years old, for example, Imagine was just like 2 years old. So we're taking baby steps along the way to try to build something much bigger. So
Yeah.
when it comes like we have our own theme park, for example, or our own movies and the games, like it gets really big. So that's where I think we said, okay, yeah, we probably made it, but I don't think I'll ever like stop as of now because it's actually fun building this, because it's something that's a legacy, right? And it's
Yeah.
gonna take a while, right? And we have to understand like it's always a long process, and we have to it is a grind every single day, but yeah, you have to really love what you're doing, else it's you're gonna be really sad on
Of
this
course.
daily.
Yeah, of course not. And I actually saw a good question earlier. I just forgot it. I just remembered it again. It said basically, how did you keep yourself motivated during the bear market to keep working hard every day to keep going? And obviously now you're here for your token launch.
Wow. Yeah, so the when the bear market, we started to see a lot of NFT projects or founders just start to leave the space and everything. So I had a
Yeah.
lot of friends that asked me like, because I had another two other businesses that are actually pretty successful and like, just go back to your Web2 world, right? Why are you still doing the Web3 stuff? But I made a promise that I made a promise to my community that I will be doing my best to make sure that everything works. And we'll constantly try to push boundaries and break walls, making sure that we reach to where we want to be. The bear market seems really tough for sure. It's 100% tough for everybody. But I'm glad yeah, I'll say like, long answer short, it's really for the community and the promise that I gave to everybody. And we'll do our best to make sure that, things will fall in place, man. And I don't believe the bear market will stay forever. And it's always, and to be very honest, the bear market is the best time to build. I think Erhan, you
Yeah.
probably will know that, right? When the bull market is too noisy, everybody's just like, this is hyping and that is hyping, but the bear market is where you build the products, and then when the bull comes, you're able to launch it. Yep.
Yeah, I think true Web3 warriors are made in the bear market. Like that's for sure. If you can get through the bear market, relatively unscathed and still have your business intact and still have your team with you and the 2 years of build, like because in a bull market, everyone's a genius. Everyone can do great marketing. Everyone can do partnerships and launch. But if you can do that in a bear market, then you can really prove yourself. Like as like okay, like because the bull market's going to be like a breeze. Like so, yeah. Be careful those bull market geniuses that disappear again in the bear. I'm sure you know a few of them yourself, Clement. Um, okay, this is quite an interesting question, Mr. Clement. Thank you, David, for your question. Mr. Clement, would the Bubble Ranger game be used for play to earn in the future?
So I had a conversation with David like just a couple of weeks ago. Like, how can we potentially scale beverages into multiple seasons? So this is like, as of now, what we're seeing is like season one. We're trying to make this more of a season two, season three, etc. So there will be more rewards coming in, and of course, the more ways to play beverages, right? If right now you just gotta dodge or evade the obstacles, but we do have thoughts about like even having like maps like the floor is on lava, things like that, right? Trying to make things a little bit more fun. So we will carry on beverages for sure, and yeah, it should be for farming too. If Bubble Riders is on, then of course beverages is definitely on. There's no reason to stop it at all.
All right, all right. So next up, have you ever considered creating an NFT slash franchise concept? For example, if you buy the NFT, it comes with a business plan slash starter kit that will allow the owner to brand and market their character. Interesting.
Interesting. Like to brand it with imaginary ones or to brand it anybody in any ways.
I think they mean like a franchise of their IO character, but I'm assuming they have the rights anyway if they
Yeah,
buy the
correct. Yeah.
IO.
Yeah.
So
So
anyone they don't need your approval to do that, right?
they don't. Like if you hold an imaginary ones, if you maybe own an ice cream store or something, you can use the visuals and the branding and but I think in the TNC you probably just can't use the logo. But the NFTs and everything is yeah, it's free to use for you for the person that owns it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we've also seen that with like Bored Apes, right? There's loads of stuff like
Yeah.
ape water, ape popcorn, ape, you name it, you name it. I'm not sure if I saw any of them actually do well, but you see them sometimes at conferences, right?
Yeah. I saw this
Uh,
ape rug that no, not literally the rug, but it's just like this carpet rug. It looks pretty cool, man. You should check it out later.
really?
Yeah,
Where can I see it?
I don't know. I can send you the link in a bit. I saw it on X like a few weeks ago or something.
Okay. All right, good stuff, good stuff. So like what is your plan this weekend? Is working?
Yeah, high chance I have to work. Yeah. Yeah. Before actually, I work all the time, man. I've been working for like every day since like ever since I started my very first business. So it's like for 11 years. Like,
My
and
God, your poor
I mean,
partner.
I do spend time once in a while at night to go out and stuff, but most of I always be thinking about work.
Just living in an imaginary world, eh?
I don't know, it's sad or happy, but it's both, I guess.
Where did you, Mr. Clement from Mohammed Yasir, where did you get the idea of the Imaginary Ones project?
Well, um, so to put a little bit of context, I was a programmer back then. Like I was a programmer by education, And I'm a self-taught animator. So I wanted to create a cooler website. So I went to teach myself animation, right? So I fell in love with that and I started creating a lot of different animation on Instagram just for myself back then. And like, I didn't really care how many people like it or not. I was very inspired by people. So one of the top artists in the world. And I followed him for like 10 years in terms of his whole entire process and everything. So I followed this process called Everydays. So this Everydays itself is to create art on a day-to-day basis and just post it and don't care about, you know, anybody that judge your art or whatever, just do it, right? So when I was running the other two businesses, Offset and Ophio, I was doing a lot of work for like all the big brands like Nike, etc. But I was telling their stories. So I always wanted to tell my own story. So I created this Instagram and then started doing art. And they started becoming viral. And I started like collaborating with like Blackpink, Samsung, L'Oreal, and even sold my art with Sotheby's. So when Imagery was blew up, this art was sold, all the old art was sold for a very high price. So to answer the question was like I always want to tell my own story about and I want to sort of like through the colors and through the style that I have to be able to make a difference in this world. And Imaginary was this character that I built and turned out that everybody liked it. And I was very, very, very blessed to be able to tell my story. And yeah, and the rest was history because one led to another and like things started to happen like from NFT to a game to collaboration and stuff. Yep.
Okay, so another question here is like, what is your favorite Bubble Rangers costume?
I actually like the one that was free, which is the the Bubble Rangers with the app, the Sunny Boy, the one the yellow guy. What's his name? Man? Let me just open this. Suddenly, I just can't remember his name, but he's the default character of Bubble Rangers, and that's the reason why we chose him to be the like the free to use character. So his name is Floa. Yeah, Floa. There we go. Oh, can see this. I love him, man.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
So if you open Bubble Rangers for the first time, you'll be able to use him for free. So yeah, that's the reason why he's like sort of like the main character. But
Yeah.
it's just not decided by me alone, but it was collectively decided by everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was
Yeah.
thinking that some of the guys I can see behind you would be pretty cool if you had one of those like DJ heads, like Dead Mouse, eh? That Bubble Party,
Oh
like
yeah.
the pink one. I could see them like DJing in front of like 1,000 people.
Yeah. So someday, maybe.
All right, all right, all right. Let's get back to the questions. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving here. Um, what do we have? There's lot of Turkish here, but my Turkish is terrible, guys. I can't actually speak Turkish very well. Is there any possibility to get the Hugo Legendary skin instead of buying the belt bag?
Yep. So when we launched the belt bag was in December. So long answer short, no. There are that season is over, and yeah, you just can't get the skins anymore because it's something that we actually collaborated with Hugo back then, and yeah, it's tied to the back with the NFC tag, so you can scan it. Yeah,
So it is a possibility.
it's no possibility right now. Unless you buy the belt bag. So but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the belt bag is still. Gotta check it. Yep.
All right, all right, all right. So, cool. Look, keep up the questions, guys. Like this is really good stuff. Like at the beginning, there was just the same question over and over again. Now we've got some very, very interesting questions. If imagine okay, so we see this quite a lot, right? With Project Web3 founders, and it's quite annoying as an investor, where like you invest in their project, it does well, and then they just like start a new one. So
Yeah.
like, this happened a few times also with these
Yep.
KOLs on YouTube. You buy in and then they're like, oh, I launched a new project. You're like, what? So if imaginary ones become successful, are you going to start a new project?
No, man. I mean, I will
And
carry
by
on
the way,
building.
imaginary ones is successful. Like, it is successful, but not to where you want to take it, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll still carry on building it. Like where we saw what happened to the bear, that was extremely frightening. And I choose we're still here. We're still building on a day-to-day basis. So to Orhan's point, I've been also rug pulled a lot of times by a lot of projects. So we are all victims of people that that founders just jump to different projects. And it's just not a pleasant sight in my opinion. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, definitely gonna stay this for a long time and or maybe forever
until the end.
until the end, guys.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Um, Somebody wants to know when the winners of the Raffle, the Bubba Rangers game is going to be announced.
There was a few announcements for Bubba Rangers. So we gave the Samsung phone. That's on the it's already on X. The Instagram one is actually also done. I think there are still a few that is already being messaged by our community manager, Danny. So yeah, I think they are all announced. If I'm not wrong, maybe the recent one is not announced, but the rest have all been announced. Yep.
Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, because there's a few people here asking about the Raffle and the Samsung box S24 Ultra. I'm like, oh, that sounds good.
Right. Oh, that was for the Galaxy box because we if you collect like 200 boxes in a game, you get S24 phone. So I think that's gonna be an awesome yep to that competition.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, okay, good stuff, good stuff. So, all right, guys. So Clement, what like how do you and your you and David work most closely together, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like how has that worked over the years? That I saw a video I saw a picture the other day where you and David have a lot more hair than you have now. I saw a picture of you guys. I think it
Dude.
was a press piece. I was thinking, is that David? Is that kind of gosh, goodness me. That's what the bear market does, I guess, because I don't see it much hair these days.
I still have hair, dude. I still have that.
David doesn't.
I know him. I mean, we started businesses like our very first business was like 12 years ago. I see
Yeah.
him a lot. I see more than actually I see my wife and family. That's crazy, dude. Because like of the long hours. So we started off as a business, like two of us, and then we grew the team from two of us to 30, and then we started our second one and now management ones. So the crazy thing is we've never actually argued on about anything. We are actually like, we always want the best for the business, right? So and
That's wild.
I met so many business people, business partners that argue about the smallest thing, right? Sometimes it's about the egos and stuff like that. But for us,
Mhm.
yeah, we're very transparent about like okay our feelings and if this doesn't work, okay, if it's for the best for the business, we trust each other in terms of our decisions and we go for it, man. So, but sometimes not arguing for like 12 years is crazy. I don't
Bro,
know.
I think you should ditch your wife and marry him. At
My
12
mom
years,
gets
no
jealous of me
arguing.
because yeah, it's crazy.
12 years, no arguing. That's something to be yeah, I mean that's an inspiration, I'm sure. I'm sure lots of people would love that with their partners, business partners or otherwise.
Yeah, we complement each other in a very weird way because I am a person that, if I have an idea, I'll just try it and do it. But he's more of like the strategy and thinker side of things. So he was trying to rationalize with me why we should do this and do that. But I will always push him to just like, okay, let's try this, let's try that, right? So sometimes you need a little bit of like the pull and pull factor, I guess. The pull and push factor. So I guess that's good for business. If you have two or three people that has the same character, most of the time, it's never gonna work out. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, my good friend Ivan on Tech is in the
Oh,
comment.
tech is here.
Bullish, he's saying. So there you go. We're bullish on you. I know he's waiting for his merch. I know that
Oh,
for yeah. Where's his merch?
well, I'll contact Hugo then.
Evan's pissed. He's like, where's my merch? Where's my merch?
Coming, it's coming.
It's pretty bullish. Pretty bullish. Thanks, Evan, for dropping in, brother. Good to see you. Dream team. That's right. That's right. Okay, so look, we need to start making a decision about these imaginary passes.
Yeah. So I think what you could
Pushing.
potentially, yeah, what you could potentially do is I don't know how you're gonna do it on YouTube, but you could ask them to sort of like retweet and like your tweet on X, and then you can choose from there. Then probably just give us
That's
the five username, and our community manager will drop them a message.
there you go. What a great guy. So that is a great idea. So everyone go to Aaron K official, the same name as this YouTube channel, onto Twitter now, and please like and retweet and follow their latest tweet, and we will pick 5 winners in the next 90 minutes, and we will DM you with your imaginary pass. That sound good? And we'll do that from this hour. We'll do that from this hour. We won't do it from previously. We'll do it from whoever retweets from 6:59 p.m. here in Dubai. And I think that's a fair way to do it. Clement, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
And
no worries, man.
Ivan's just mentioned he's pushing all his capital into Bubble. So if that's not bullish, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. That's gonna
Hey,
be a
guys,
massive green candle. I think he's got quite a bit of capital, don't you think?
he, he's one of the biggest boo in the space, I reckon.
Bullish, bullish, bullish. Well, it's great to have the likes of Evan on Tech obviously supporting Bubble. So yeah, nice. All right, guys. Do we have any last final questions for Clement? Then get them in. Get them in right now.
I see one of my guys mirrored. Ask Clement when, just when.
Every
Yeah.
every every time you step out the door, someone's just like, when? You open the cupboard, you get your cornflakes. When TG? Close the cupboard.
Yeah, I gotta do a shout out to Mirror that he's one of the best guys that protects and holds the fort at Discord. Where sometimes when we launch a game, there's a lot there's inevitably gonna be bugs, but he's always there to protect everybody. So shout out to him, he's there. So thanks, man.
All right. Well, look, let's wrap this up because it's 11 p.m. in Singapore. You want to go to sleep and dream in the imaginary world, I guess.
I'm gonna do some other work, man. But it's a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Clement, like I really appreciate your time, bro. Like I know how busy you are, and I'm a big supporter of everything that you're doing with Imaginary Ones. I can't wait to be a supporter for many years ahead. So yeah, thanks so much for your time. A shout out to your community here in the chat. It was great to see you guys. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and we'll be doing lots of interviews and new shows here on the channel over the coming weeks and months. So get in early, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you.